Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. So I'm here joined by Gary Henry. You may remember him from the previous two vlogs of the car and the China Art Museum. So today's vlog is going to be all about his life in China as a teacher, and it's just life in general. Hi Gary, welcome back to the channel again.
Hello Mr. Rishi.
Thanks for your time. So just starting off, how long have you been living in China? And I did ask you this before, but what brought you here?
Okay, I've been in China for 5 years now. So must have came in 2015.
Okay.
After we lost the Scottish independence, the week after that, I came to China.
Okay.
Upset about that. But no, I married a Shanghainese in UK when we had our daughter in UK. After 6 months, we came back to China because the family unit here very much uses the grandmother to look after the child while mummy and daddy both work and make money. That's the Chinese system. So
right. Okay. So you've been here 5 years, and now you're a very well-established primary school teacher. Could you tell us more about your job as a teacher? What level do you teach, and how do you like the job?
Yeah. So in UK, I was a chartered accountant working for oil companies and banks and such like. And came to China with no job and fell into teaching, because I speak English and there's a big demand for that here in China. They all want their kids to study English and do well. Even in the Chinese state schools they have English exams, and a lot of them want to learn English to travel and maybe study overseas. So it's popular.
Definitely. So as a teacher, any challenges that you face, day-to-day challenges?
Yeah, so I've never taught in the UK at all. So when I first came to China, there's two levels of teaching. One is called the training school. So that's evenings and weekends. The child goes to learn English in classes. So when I first came to China, I found a training centre near my house, and that's where I started. So I would work in the evenings and weekends with classes of 12 children and teach them English, and that was my job, And I guess the second level would be actually working for a school. So after a few years doing that, I went to a full-time kindergarten with my daughter and did that, and now we're at primary school, so I'm at primary school too.
So you basically built your way up from primary school teacher to kindergarten to an hour primary school. So you mentioned your daughter. Gary has a very cute little daughter. So as a daddy, do you like the Chinese education system and their educational establishments, so the schools itself and the course that they teach? This is from a dad's point of view, not a teacher's point of view, by the way.
Well, China's very, very strict compared to UK. So the children have like 2 hours of homework every night. In my school, traditionally, the children go there from 8 till 7 at night, but me and my daughter leave early at 5 o'clock because the teachers leave then, and we do our homework at home together, but most of the other children will stay till 7 and do the homework in the class together. So it's a long day. On a Friday they will finish early at 2 o'clock and go home. So it's a busy week for children. Lots and lots of homework all weekend, and it's very strict.
It is very strict. So as a dad, do you like the way how they handle the discipline here in China? Do you like the way how they teach, the course content, the course delivery? Again, from a dad's perspective.
They have lots of subjects. They study like children's philosophy, lots of maths, Chinese writing, Chinese reading, English writing, and club activities in the afternoon where they do sports or drawing and such like. So it's a very, very serious business here.
Definitely. So education is very serious here in China. As a teacher, do you face any challenges with your colleagues or with your school or any other day-to-day challenges with the school? And how do you overcome those challenges while teaching?
Well, I guess I've got to a decent school now, so there's less of that. But in the past, the communications barrier with the bosses that didn't speak too much English was difficult. And there seemed to be a different mindset, like the photocopier would be broken for a week, and if you ask, is it going to be fixed, then they're like, Yeah.
Okay.
But you ask them when, and they're just like, yes.
Right.
They don't.
There's always a yes answer, but there's no action being taken.
Yeah, and the common joke is why, no why.
No why in
Yeah,
China.
yeah.
Okay, that's pretty standard. So now let's say we have a new teacher coming from the UK. What documents do they need to get in order, and any particular minimum requirements that they need to have? So I'm a white native teacher coming from the UK to teach in China. I'm a native teacher.
Yeah.
What do I need to have in order?
Yeah, well, it depends which job you're going to get. So if you're going to go to training school, then you're going to be working all weekend. Your day off will be a Tuesday, and you'll be working every evening 4 till 8. So Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. And then Saturday you're going to be working like 9 till 8. So it's very much against school. So when they're not at school, you're working. So
Right.
So that's one job you can do. It's easy to get a start there, no problem at all. You wouldn't need too much documents for that.
Right.
If you want to go to a real school, you need 2 years prior teaching experience to get a, what is it, FEC?
Yes.
An FEC.
Foreign expert certificate.
To get any visa, you will need to give a criminal record check. So if you've got criminal records, then
Forget it.
bad boy,
Yeah.
you're not coming.
Or a girl.
Bad girl too, or any other gender in the new gender world. Yeah.
Exactly.
Uh,
Forget that. Yeah. So non-criminal record you mentioned.
Yeah.
2 years per experience. Now, when
you need a degree too.
you need a bachelor's degree, of course.
Yeah. So
Now,
if
when
you
you
study hard at school, then yeah.
So when you
It's
say
okay.
2 years experience, so if I come here as a training school teacher, can I then after 2 years apply to go to primary school, or do I need a 2 years working visa experience?
That would be the tricky one because you wouldn't get an FEC at a training school, so you wouldn't have
2 years experience,
That-
legal experience.
Yeah, that wouldn't count.
That wouldn't count. So when you say 2 years experience, you need to have 2 years of genuine work visa experience on the
Yeah.
passport.
Yeah.
Then you're eligible for a school like yourself.
Yeah, well, that can be fixed. Yeah, there's ways.
There are ways around that, of course, as always. Now, when you mentioned the education system, can you talk about the money in terms of how much can a teacher be expected to pay in a training center, in a kindergarten, and in a primary school? Can you give us the ranges of all of these types?
If you're native speaker, then even this training centre is going to pay you about 1,800 minimum to
18,000
to 18,000 a month.
18,000 a month, okay.
Yeah. So what's that in pounds?
About £2,000, yeah.
About £2,000 a month for a training centre.
And this is after tax.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I hope you guys understand.
Yeah. If you go to a real school and you're like a real teacher as such, then you're looking at up to 22,000. After a few experience, 25. If you're a real teacher in the UK and you've got a teaching degree,
PGCE and an education degree,
masters, then you're up to 35,000 a month. Yeah,
which is about £4,000 in today's money.
Yeah.
So 4,000 after tax income. If you're a real UK teacher and you have a debt or something, China has the best opportunity. Come here, teach here for a year or two, save up the money, pay your debts off, and you can go back home.
Just email Richie, we'll get you hooked up.
We'll get you perfect jobs available. There's all this, like, China needs teachers. There's a huge supply and demand issue in China. They're running short of good quality teachers like Gary, and I made a video with my other friend Josh as well.
Yeah.
Genuine teachers.
But if you're interested in it, we've been here 5 years, so we know a lot of schools, a lot of bosses, and we can get you a job. Even I can get your documents sorted via a lady I know in Edinburgh, so all of that would be done. Advice would be get your documents sorted before you come here, obviously.
For sure, of course.
Don't come here and then get it. It's a bit of a hassle.
So the procedure generally is you need to get a non-criminal record, which you need to get it legalized and notarized by the Chinese embassy and the Home Office in the UK.
Yeah.
And also your degree as well. So those two documents have to be legalized and notarized in the UK. Then you bring those documents here, and then you apply for your visa, or your school will help you to apply for the visa.
But you would come here initially on a C visa or something.
Z visa.
You get
so you come here as a Z visa or Z visa, which is basically a work visa. But as soon as you land in the country, within a month you need to apply for your residence permit and get the actual FEC visa, which is the Foreign Expert Certificate work visa as a teacher.
But you won't get your FEC from UK. You'll need to come first and then get that. Yeah.
Exactly. So because there are certain other documents, you also have to do a medical, and it's advisable to do the medical in China, because even if you do the medical in the UK, they'll still be asked to do the medical here in China. And it's by an approved hospital in Shanghai. There's only one hospital in Shanghai, which does it. So don't do your medical in the UK, no matter what anybody advises you. However, get your documents in order in the UK, come here, get your medical, apply for the visa.
Obviously, time of the year, I mean, if you want to get a school job, they need to fill the school in August. So come summer, July, then the teachers will leave in July and go elsewhere. So the peak season for coming here would be July, August, September. But if the school hasn't got all its teachers by September, then they can't start the classes. So you really need to be coming here in summer to get in.
Yes.
You could take a chance that somebody's left or a school is missing a teacher and they'll add you on, or they'll get rid of a Russian or something.
Exactly,
like that.
yeah. So now that you mentioned the Russian, we're nothing against the Russian, but can you tell the difference in quality between a good teacher and a not so good non-native? Now I'm sure non-native teachers are very good, like Josh is a non-native as per the Chinese laws. However, he's an extremely talented and a good teacher. But China's flooded, like not just Shanghai, but overall China's flooded with teachers.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a good quality teacher and a bad teacher? Now you can answer this as a dad and as a teacher.
Well, I'll give respect to Josh. I mean, there is certain countries where the English level is native level, so your Philippines and Indonesia speak as beautiful English as we do, so they're okay. Some of your Africans, either like South Africans and countries like Nigeria, I mean, they speak beautiful English too, so their English level's quite good. But if you want the big money, you need to be Australian, UK.
Canadian. So the 5 nationalities are UK, USA, Australia, Canada, Ireland, South Africa, and New Zealand.
They're premium, yeah. You'll get your visa guaranteed then. If you're non-native, then you wouldn't get an FEC, I think.
You would get the FEC, but it's a long procedure. You have to apply for a teaching certificate, you have to have a teaching degree, you need to have a teaching document.
Yeah.
Also, TOEFL, now that we mentioned documents, TOEFL, is that very hard to study?
You can buy that, yeah.
Exactly, you can buy that. So you can study, or you can...
What's it costing to study? £1,000?
It's like 150 pounds-ish to study.
But you can get
but
that
you need to study for that for like 150 hours.
Should do, yeah.
Which you should do. If you're a generally good teacher, you should be working towards that.
But I remember in UK seeing them via Groupon and they were like £25-30. So do that before you come here. But if you come here, you can get that too.
We can get that. We can help you to get a good TOEFL document.
Yeah.
But to be honest, the TOEFL doesn't really represent anything in a way. Like you did the exam, but if you're a native English speaking person, you can teach kids here. And now that you mentioned about teaching, could you explain?
We'll drop back. If you're a native, you'll get 22,000. If you're a Russian working at training school, you'll be down to 12,000, 10,000 a month.
Yeah,
so
12 to 15,000.
You'll get half as much. Unfortunately, if you're an African, then it's not so good for you too. Yeah. You're not going to be in tier 1 cities. They tend to go out to the countryside. So places where they can't get people to go. Shanghai is a place people want to be.
Of course, all foreigners want to be in Shanghai. So Shanghai is a great place to be if you want to make lots of money and
it's easy life.
Easy life. And it's very.
But there is that other market where you go out. Tier 2, 3, 4, 5 cities, where you'll make as much money, not as much as Shanghai, but you'll make enough money to be able to have a substantial, luxurious life in that city because the cost of living is much lower. You'll be in a big house too,
Bigger house
you get
and
a palace,
bigger house, cheaper taxis, cheaper buses. So definitely, it does drop your cost of living substantially.
Some people prefer that; they like to go rural.
Also, some people who want to come to China, they want to experience China as China, not Shanghai, because Shanghai is very modern and very foreign oriented. So Shanghai doesn't really represent original, authentic China. It's like pretty much like London.
London is not England.
London's not England, so London's
Paris is not France.
Exactly. So London's very diverse. Same as Shanghai is very diverse. You meet all sorts of people. Now, where we are at the moment, we don't have a lot of foreigners in this neighborhood. However, if we go to downtown now, all you'll see is just foreigners from all over the world. So in terms of the teaching, what do you do on a day-to-day basis? So you start work at 7:45, I believe. So from 7:45 to 4:30, what does your day consist of?
So I'm called a homeroom teacher. So I'm assigned to one classroom, and I'm just teaching them. So I guess other type of teachers are sometimes that the fortune was you get 2 classes, and one day you're in one class, one day you're in another class. you can be a round robin teacher that you go to your school and you are the English teacher and you teach class A, B, C, D, E throughout the week.
Yes.
But this one's a homeroom teacher, so I'm assigned to one classroom. I have 10 hours of lessons a week with them, so I think three 1.5 hour English language lessons, one called like IB.
Okay.
We do this international baccalaureate, so we try to teach them about group work, team building, open-mindedness, all that stuff, and in the afternoons you do a club with them, so either some sports, some drawing, some hobby activity and such like,
Right. So when you're not teaching in the classroom, are you bound to stay in the classroom, or do you leave and go to the office?
Oh yeah, it's a 50-50, so either in the morning or the afternoon I must stay in the classroom and we all speak English, and then in the afternoon you go to the office, or other way round, and then in the office you go and do all your paperwork.
So what does your paperwork consist of?
Yeah, there's a lot of paperwork.
So what kind of oh, that's very American.
Yeah.
What does your paperwork consist of?
You've got to make 10 lesson plans for your lessons each week.
Yeah.
After you do the lessons, because we're lifelong learners, you need to do reflections on your lesson and fill in lots of forms. And in order to get our school license, we've got to load that all online and very, very detailed lesson plans, very reflective. The lessons need to be in phases, and reports every month, reflecting on your teaching, what books you're using, all that. Oh, homework marking the books, doing the spelling check, making the homework, and a lot of that. It's a busy job, From 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock, I don't stop working.
Right. Okay.
Have some chat with the guys, drink a coffee. But it's a solid job. But the other side to that is that if you're in a full-time school, you're only working 9 months of the year. I get 10 weeks paid holiday in summer and 3 weeks in January for Chinese New Year, another week in September. So I get a lot of holidays. Yeah, it's nice.
You do get a lot of holidays, and they're all paid holidays.
Yes,
I believe. Okay.
At the training school, you wouldn't get that. Training school, you get 10 days a year or something.
Exactly. Something like that. So probably like 5 days for Chinese New Year and 5 more days during the year.
Yeah, if you do the training school, you have no weekends too. Yeah.
No, not at all.
Tends to be drinks on a Tuesday night.
So training school is more suited towards people who have just landed in the country, maybe just trying to get understanding of the teaching market and just the understanding of the job as like teaching as a profession.
Yeah.
However,
it's easier.
However, when you're at your level, been here 5 years, been teaching 4 years out of 5?
Yeah, 5.
5 years out of 5. So now for you, would you be able to go and work in a training center or kindergarten again after teaching here for 2 years?
I'd be okay with it.
Be honest with this answer, there's no right or wrong answer.
I'd be okay with the kindergarten. Kindergarten's a tiring job,
Okay.
If you've got 3-year-old children and you're teaching them English as a second language, you're going to spend an hour teaching them like, I like, I don't like, and next day ask them, what do you like? And they say, my name's Frank.
Right,
so
of course.
You've got to put all the energy into that, and it takes them longer to learn. It's 6 years old, they're going to learn grammar, sentence structures, vocabulary a lot easier, so I do prefer older children now.
Yes.
The training centres, for me, with a young baby, that was okay, but now my daughter goes to school, it's not feasible.
No.
You'll be working all weekend, so I wouldn't like to go back and do that.
Right. So would you
nothing
say,
wrong with the job?
Not at all, no. But just would you say training centres are more suited for young people, and maybe your school, primary schools, are suited for somebody a little bit older?
Well, at training school you do get more relaxed people. You don't need to prepare anything. You get 12 children, you've got a lot of flashcards, some videos, play some songs, play some games, and the people that want to come here in Shanghai and party, they can go do that. Yeah.
Right, okay.
My job's a bit more serious, yeah.
For sure.
But the training centres are hard work too, because it's a cash machine.
Indeed.
The training centres are charging like £10 a kid with 12 kids in the classroom.
Per hour.
And they're like, Gary, you're teaching 4:30 to 5:30. Next class is 5:35, and a Saturday and Sunday I was quite popular because I guess I was only native in my school. So 9 o'clock to 10:30 class, 10:35 to 11 are just solid because they just want to milk money out of you. So
Of course.
they're cash centers.
They're cash centers, they're cash cows.
Yeah.
So primary school, it's a relaxed environment, you get your weekends, you enjoy. What else is there as a teacher in Shanghai? So now let's shift away from teaching. As a teacher, you have a daughter, but let's say if you're
go back
single.
to teaching, actually, the Chinese kids are very serious. Yeah, they don't mess around. Yeah, they're very behaved in their class. I think I hear people saying in UK kids are swearing and throwing things about. When I see blogs about teaching in the UK, like no respect for the teachers, and no discipline. Chinese kids are very serious. They study very hard. They try their best. There is a few people with attention disorders who won't sit nice, and you've got to tell them to sit nicely.
But that's, I guess, everywhere. It's not just China or it's not just UK.
But they're very respected teachers.
For sure. So teaching is something that it's a very respectable profession here in China, and the students are taught from a very young age to be able to respect their teachers. They're considered gods. Teachers are considered gods in China, not just foreign teachers, but also local teachers. Here we have a god here. So now, focus on life outside teaching in China, in Shanghai. What can a teacher do to unwind? So let's say we have a UK female teacher, single. What can she do to socialize? Our UK young teacher.
She can date Rishi.
No, I'm fine, I'm okay. Or males, what can they do to socialize? What's there in Shanghai?
He can date Rishi. Swings both ways, yeah. Oh, don't tell his parents. Yeah. Get this over.
Yeah, my parents are going to watch this vlog. Don't do this, man. Okay, no.
Everything's here in Shanghai for you. Everything you want is here. It's a cosmopolitan city, so anything you want to do is here, yeah. If you want to go bowling, it's here. You want to play golf, it's here. You want to play cricket, it's here. You want to play basketball, it's here. You want to play football, it's here. You want to see museums, it's here. They've got galleries and
got a huge museum right behind us. So that's China Museum where we were last time.
Anything you want is in here. And any restaurant you want, any food you want, everything's in Shanghai.
Everything's in Shanghai.
And what people who don't work in Shanghai and come to Shanghai, they always stay here. So if I meet a teacher who's been out in a tier 1, 2 city, they'll do that for a few years. They come to Shanghai, they're never going back.
Not at all, no.
They miss their friends in small circles there. If you're out in a tier 1 city, all the foreign teachers will go to the bar every night. And there'll only be 10 of them, so they have a good community there.
For sure.
They all look after each other. Shanghai's a bit more bigger, it's a big city, but when they come to Shanghai, you have the metro, it goes everywhere. You can get...
And it's pretty cheap as well.
Yeah, you can get anywhere in a short space of time,
Right. So now that let's just go back to the teaching aspect of things. Any way to add supplementary income to the teaching income that you get from a school?
Yeah.
Is it a possibility to do that?
It's out with my contract, so I don't personally do that. That would breach my visa requirements.
Right. But
I've heard stories of people who you do private teaching. You go to someone's house and teach a child, and you'll get 400 RMBs an hour, or you'll get £50 an hour.
£50 an hour,
to help them get their English up to speed. Also, the training schools, that would be illegal too, but you could work part-time there and get a little less, 300 an hour, so £40 an hour to teach some classes there in the evening. There are other schools in people's houses which are not licensed, but I've heard they exist and you can go teach there too. So
there's always ways to add a supplementary income.
Yeah.
So, now, I've heard personal stories where there are teachers who make enough supplementary income to pay for the general day-to-day life expenses, rents and their expenses. So their main income, the teaching income, the main source of income of the job is all savings. So is that a good opportunity for somebody to be able to save for a house or for a mortgage or for a master's program or whatever?
Yeah, that's advice I give to people who come here. So I meet some people who come here, millennials.
Gen Z.
But they come here and they're making £2,000 a month teaching, and they could go out part-time and make another £2,000 quite easily. Maybe 10, 12 hours a week.
Sure.
That works out. And they could live off about 5,000 a month in China. The average wage in Shanghai is
about 6,000.
6,000.
Yeah.
You could rent a house for 2,000, not in the city centre, live off
eating cheap food,
eating cheap food, and
just taking a public transport all the time.
So even if you're speaking about just normal working, and £2,000 a month, you can live off 500 and save 1,500 a month. you come here for 4 years, you can buy yourself a house back home. So
Yes.
I tell these millennials, I'm like, save your money, stop going to Starbucks, stop going out to the nightclub, and within 4 years you can buy a house back home outright. Yeah.
Sure.
So I say, do you have a house back home? They're like, no. How long have you been teaching? 5 years. Have you saved any money? A little. Do you have a house back home? No.
Nah.
You can't teach till you die.
Exactly, yeah, that's true. So there has to be
you need a house forever, yeah. So
you need a house forever, exactly.
Shanghai gives you the maximum, or China gives you the maximum opportunity to save money. If you're in UK, maybe making 2,000 a month in London, you're not saving any.
Not at all.
By the time you rent a house and you pay your council tax, gas, electric, run a car,
or pay for the tube even.
Yeah, pay for the tube. You're lucky if you're saving 200 a month. So you read that online. Like teachers and lawyers are living off of credit cards. They can't afford to live. Yeah,
that's true. That's true. It is a bit sad, yeah, to be honest.
Shanghai, if you came here for a few years, you could have some houses back home easily. Yeah, if you're sensible. Yeah.
Of course. So you're basically saying that Shanghai offers you the opportunity to have a good job, save a lot of money, have a decent lifestyle, and also there's a good work-life balance, basically.
Yeah. If you're a student with student debt, you can come here and clear that in a year. Yeah.
Okay.
You could get that done.
You can get that done, or any other debt, so you can clear your debts, and then you can. So you have to be dedicated. You have to be a professional. Is it difficult to become dedicated? Now, dedication, of course, comes from within. Yeah. But as a teacher, is there a lot of effort you have to put in, or if you just have to follow a certain protocol, basically?
Yeah. Well, being prepared helps you to get through a lesson, so you can wing it, but if you know what you're teaching, you'll need to make a PPT for it, make some activities for the children to they'll learn if they do it. I think it's something like, I hear it, 10% retention, 20% I see it, 30% I practice it, but if they actually physically do something, they'll remember 70% of the vocabulary you teach them. So you try to get an activity where you give them flashcards, they play a game, or they write something in a book, or something to back up rather than just preaching to them. But to say if you're prepared for a lesson, it goes a lot better, you know. If you're not prepared, the time's going to drag. So if you've got your videos ready, your PPTs ready, your activities ready, a class will go very well and the children will not get rowdy. If you're searching on a website for something and your cards are not organised, or you've got to go somewhere, then you're like, hold on children, wait 2 minutes. They're going to start chatting and lose focus. So
for sure.
A well-prepared lesson will flow perfectly. They'll know the routine. Okay, I'm going to show you a video. We're studying stationery. Give me some stationery words, I'll write it on the board. We're going to show a video about it, and then we're going to ask you to make sentences or say what is it, spell it, read it, and so on. If you get a routine going, it'll flow and the children like it. We like repetitive tasks, and we teach them comfort. Yeah.
All right.
So that would be fun. But you have people like Devons who'll be out to the nightclub at 3 in the morning and then
turn up for a class at 9.
Turn up for that class and just go through it. Yeah. Degenerates tend to be more at training schools than real schools. So you'll lose your job at a real school. Training school, you could never get sacked. Yeah.
Or even if you do get sacked, and there's like tons of training schools, they just like leave that and just like, hi, I'm American, give me a job. Okay, come in. I suppose,
We've met some degenerates.
We have indeed. So, right, thank you so much for your time today, Gary, and definitely do subscribe to the channel and like, share, and subscribe for more content. And in the next video, I'll ask Gary if you have any questions or any queries. I'll ask Gary about more comments or more questions that you may have.
Yeah, if you're thinking about coming to China, just shoot Rishi an email. He knows what's going on. I can help him out. It seems scary, but it's not. Yeah, and in fact, we mentioned before, China's so safe. Yeah,
exactly.